It could be the moment a fashion trend catches on, the moment a show lights up the charts, the moment a book gets enough notice to be a NYT bestseller, or the moment an illness creates an epidemic. When it comes to business and marketing, the tipping is the moment when a product takes off and becomes a success. It often appears that things like TikTok and shows like Sesame Street are overnight sensations, but that is not the case. These, like the flu of 1918, had tipping points that have four main factors that made the difference. The truth is that the law of few reflects that there are only a few select types of people that can create contagion. These types of people are connectors, mavens, and salespersons. Each category has a purpose. The connectors make the links of people for mavens to spread the gossip, and the mavens cannot convince people of the news, so they in turn introduce the salespersons into the group who convince the masses to believe in or do something. What's truly remarkable is that 20% of people are responsible for 80% of the work. It's this very small selective set of people that use four specific dynamics and talent that make ideas and such spread like a pandemic. Connectors are the people that have connections. Their personalities make them collectors of people. People who are connectors have a special gift of bringing the world together. They can float from clique to clique and seamlessly fit into diverse situations and make connections. It's like networking on steroids. They manage to remember and know such a wide variety of people that they are able to put you in touch with practically any person of any trade that you would need to know. It's these types of people that led to the 6 degrees of separation theory. But connectors are not the people that actually spread the word to get a company the attention it desperately needs. They are basically the road that leads the mavens and salespersons to their targets. Mavens are another select set of elite social networking persons. They have this uncanny ability to collect massive amounts of knowledge. Mavens then use this massive amount of knowledge to barter. They trade in information, and when that information is provided to a connector, suddenly a huge population of people is privy to the mavens' words. Mavens are great for marketing information. Not only do they amass an outstanding amount of relevant factual information, but they want to share it. They feel it is their duty to do so. Having mavens that preach your work is some of the best word-of-mouth marketing you can get. So maybe you have a connector that has a person in every walk of life to connect you to, and perhaps you have a maven that can spread the information and get information for you on what's happening in your market. Those are great, but unless you have a salesman, your ticket to word-of-mouth social networking stops there. Salesmen are another special breed of people that have the unique ability to persuade people to buy products. They have a knack for getting people to trust them, and that starts with their innate ability to tap into people emotionally and have people respond with the desired emotion. Once a salesman starts talking, their entire body language tunes into the person they are conversing with, and they transfer their emotions with eye contact, head movement, and active listening skills. It's a work of art that few people are born with. Having connections, information, and sales are great, but your product won't last if it doesn't have the stickiness factor. There are many aspects to the stickiness factor in creating a sticking product. One that people notice and then attend to is getting harder by the day. People have about 15 seconds to get your attention and lead you to their product. But once there, the product has to keep your attention. If you pay careful attention to the structure and format of your product, you can enhance your stickiness, but it takes a lot of careful data collection. Sesame Street did this and became a phenomenon for children's television. But they studied their subjects for the entire hour-long show and recorded their attention shifts every 4 minutes. That's how Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch were born. Hundreds of data points led them to find the stickiness factor that kids liked: fantasy blended with reality. Put in the time and effort to analyze the data and find the sticky. You can have it all lined up: great product, great marketing, the stickiness factor, and then have it in the wrong context. Context is so important. People are so much more subconsciously aware of the environment than they are given credit for. Epidemics spread in the right context. You have one sick person in an elevator with 5 healthy people. All 5 are probably coming down with symptoms within a week. The epidemic had the right context. Take it the other way and the sick guy stays at home until his symptoms are gone and you slow the spread. Context affects contagion, and people make choices based on some far-reaching psychological traits. For instance, Gladwell found that there is a rule of 150. If you belong to a group of 150 people, they keep the same thoughts and consensus. Any more than that and dissension begins. Conversely, if there are more than 4 people who witness an emergency situation, the reaction time of any individual will be drastically reduced because they think someone else will offer to help, so they don't need to. Context is not all about people, though. The environment plays an enormous role in whether a product survives and flourishes as well. Once again, humans have a strong subconscious response to the environment they find themselves in. For instance, when people are walking through areas that are derelict and has a great deal of vandalism, they don't feel inclined to pick up after themselves, or it even inspires them to vandalize. David Gunn knew this, and he stopped the trains from being vandalized by graffiti by refusing to allow a painted car to traverse the rails. The car would be pulled and repainted. Eventually, the vandalism stopped. The environment became one where the trains were taken care of and people noticed. The same goes for the product. If the product is placed in an environment that isn't conducive to consumers wanting to use it, then it is in the wrong environmental context. The context needs to be as contagious as any other element.